It's time for the next movie on my 2016 superhero predictions. And what is it? Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And FYI, I'm only wearing the Superman shirt because it's Superman's movie. Let's not lose sight of that. This is a Superman sequel with Batman and Wonder Woman in it. Let's keep that the main focus. Anyway, let's go on. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Okay, this is the next movie to come out. It's going to be coming out in March, and I just would like to speak for all comic book nerds when I would say, holy crap, this is finally happening! I'm sure a lot of you wanted me to give you that reaction a long time ago, or say more about this a long time ago, when every time there was a casting announcement for anything about this movie, I had people saying, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about this? And, okay, finally, let's get to talking about them. Let's go from the very inception. What was the first thing when this movie came out? What was the very first thing, the buzz around it? Correct. Dark Knight Returns. That was the quote that was given from that story right at the announcement of the Batman v Superman movie. That was it set the whole tone. So we kind of got that this was kind of going to be like a Batman versus Superman fighting story. Of course, this kind of has the whole DC fans up in a little bit of a tiffy because all the Batmans, of course, are saying, oh, Batman's got to beat the crap out of Superman. He's got to show him that he's just a Boy Scout and this is how we do things in Gotham. And all the Superman fans, and probably pretty much everybody else, is saying, Batman's a man. Superman is Superman. He can move the planet. This shouldn't even be a question of a fight. What's wrong with you? Don't think it happens? Well, guess what? Once I was on Smosh TV on a video they did, and this is what they said to me.
Everybody always hypes up who would win in a battle between Superman versus Batman.
Batman can and always will beat Superman.
Seriously?
Well, you picked on the wrong superhero right there, buddy.
Batman is merely a man, flesh and blood. He's like you and me, friends.
They didn't even credit me in the video. I was disappointed in them. But anyway, I think the rest of us are all saying, guys, there's going to be a fight, but there's not really going to be a winner. This is one of those things where you don't actually want to end the debate once and for all. You want to keep it going forever and ever. Some people might say, well, in The Dark Knight Returns, Batman beats Superman's butt. But then others might say, yeah, but in Injustice Gods Among Us, Superman beats the crap out of Batman like he's nothing. And Batman is like the only superhero left. He's hiding like a coward. So where was his prep time for that, huh? In the end, this prediction isn't even about the fight. This prediction is about how the movie is going to turn out. And while I must say, my excitement for out of all the superhero movies is probably the highest for this movie, it's also probably my worry level is also the highest for this movie in particular. Let's go over the casting choices because I know some people might want to go over them. Let's go for the ones that least have a problem with. Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. I don't know her. I don't know what type of performance she can give, so therefore I don't have any expectations of her one way or the other. She could be a great Wonder Woman. She could suck, but that goes for any performer or any performance. Seriously, just, for anyone who's saying, well, that's not Wonder Woman, it's just like, well, you don't know that. That's nothing to be worried about. Ben Affleck as Batman. A little bit of maybe a raising of the eyebrow, like, really? But to compare Ben Affleck and say, oh, it's just going to be his Daredevil thing all over again. Look, A, no, because this isn't made by the same people who made Daredevil, so that doesn't make any sense. B, Ben Affleck wasn't a horrible actor in that movie. It was just the script that was a problem. If you want to point to a horrible actor or actress in that movie, look at Jennifer Garner.
Liar.
Yeah, keep trying, honey. Maybe you'll convince us that one day you can play off Elektra. Who's looking forward to Daredevil Season 2. Anyway, get onto that later. But you know what? It's all picturing, It's hard to actually picture somebody in the Batsuit till you see them in the Batsuit. And you know what? He looks good in the Batsuit. Will he be the best Batman ever? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Will he be the worst Batman ever? Probably not. I mean, he can't be worse than George Clooney. Gosh. What I said about Wonder Woman also goes with this guy that they cast as Aquaman. I don't really know him. Like, sure, I saw him in Game of Thrones, but I don't really know how they're going to play Aquaman. You know, just because he looks like that doesn't mean he's going to be the guy who wants to put a person's head on a pike. It's all up in the air. That stuff is... Now, I will admit there is a casting choice that I'm still concerned. Jesse Eisenberg. I think Jesse Eisenberg is a good actor. I think he could probably, yes, play a supervillain. I said at the second trailer, I said, Jesse Eisenberg looks like the perfect Riddler. This is Lex Luthor here. I'm just going to say, today I was watching some Young Justice clips, and the clip I was watching was the fight between Speedy or Arsenal and Mercy when he's trying to assassinate Lex Luthor. And in that, Lex Luthor, the perfect version of Lex Luthor is when he has a calm voice. A calm but menacing. You know, Lex Luthor's not the type of guy where he'll be like, oh, I'm so angry. And Lex Luthor's most menacing is when he's so calm and things are going, wrong, and he's just like, whatever. Like, I'm just going to show the clip.
That's detonation cord, Luthor. The kind LexCorp sells illegally. It's the perfect revenge. I used your own tech to do to you what you did to me.
Except we gave you anesthesia. Your methods seem a tad more violent.
We reap what we sow, Luthor.
Indeed. But are you prepared for the harvest? Vengeance is a sucker's game, son. And yours can only be achieved at the cost of your own life.
You think I won't pay that cost?
Honestly, I have no idea. But I might just be dying to find out.
You want we should take him out now, Mr. Luthor?
No, Otis. I'm content to wait patiently for young Mr. Harper's decision.
Don't mock me, Luthor! To get my revenge, I'd run any risk.
I don't believe in risk. I believe in preparation.
Arsenal has a bomb strapped to his arm. And yet, why does it feel like Lex Luthor is the one in control of that entire situation? My gosh. So, yes, I am concerned about Jesse Eisenberg. I am. But I'm not I will never be the cry foul beforehand. Okay? I will raise an eyebrow. I will question beforehand. I will say I have concerns. But I will never call somebody a horrible pick or horrible performer till after I see it. I shouldn't say never. It's like, there's some movies where you're just like, you can tell they're going to be bad. But, when it's something like this, the movie looks like it could be good. It looks like it could be very good. From all what I hear from people on the sets, it's very good. But you can never trust the people who are actually working on the movie to give a valid, individual, unbiased opinion, unless it's the director of the new Fantastic Four. Oh! Anyway, I'm talking too much on the cast. What do we get from the trailers? Well, we've gotten to quite a few trailers. I've decided that I've seen enough trailers. I don't need to see any more. We've seen that it's Batman is going to pit himself against Superman. We don't necessarily know why yet. Most times, let's say in the animated series or whatever, when Batman meets up with Superman, Batman's in Metropolis because of ulterior motives. The Joker's in Metropolis, or someone else is in Metropolis, or something else is happening. Maybe something's happening in Gotham that draws Superman there. This kind of seems like Batman's going to Metropolis to confront Superman, but I don't know if that's exactly the case. Honestly, my biggest problem with the trailers is that we don't really get a lot of Superman. I mean, we get Superman's view of, that he is, struggling with what to do with Batman, and but all of the tone of the trailer revolves around Batman. What I want to see in this movie is I want to see Superman having to cope with Like, we see that he's having to cope with being, an alien on Earth, and we have people that say, that are like, go home, whatever. One of my favorite things from Superman Earth 1 Volume 2 was Superman's finding out where his limits are. Volume 3 and 2. Superman's finding out where his limits are. Where's the line of the amount of influence he can put on the planet and where is going too far. I kind of want to see that where, maybe we have all these people that say, okay, you need to, stop. And he's like, okay, well, I'll try not to interfere. But then you got somebody that needs to be saved, and he saves them, and they're like, we told you to stop. He's like, well, look, I don't know. I have these powers. If somebody is dying, I need to be able to help them. And I can't just not be this powerful. You got, of course, Lex Luthor, who's probably going to be influencing the other side. I also want to know, what is Lex Luthor's beef with Superman in this movie? Why does Lex Luthor dislike Superman? Because in the comics, it really seems like he sees Superman as the embodiment of the death of human individualism, because with Superman here, what's left to look up to? What's left to aspire to be? You'll never be as big or as powerful or as good as Superman. And that seems to be why Lex Luthor hates Superman so much, is because he's achieved a different level than he could ever hope to become. And so the reason he wants to destroy Superman is to show that he is better than Superman. To show that humankind can be better than the god. But I also am interested, one other thing that we definitely get from the trailer is this militia group with the Superman symbols on their side. I don't know where that's going to tie into the whole thing. Because there is a scene where Superman unmasks Batman, and he's walking by all these militia people. And I'm like, so Superman probably didn't put this group together, but they're probably doing things in his name that he is, like, there's a lot of good places they could take this. I just hope they really remember that this is Superman's story. Advertising is one thing. Make it Batman's, just as much Batman stories in the trailer as Superman's, but I want the movie to be more about Superman than Batman, because it's supposed to be Superman's sequel. And I hope they use Batman to further Superman's story. Not saying I don't want Batman to have a character arc. I do. But I want the main focus to be on Superman and what he's going to do and the effect. I'm interested to see how Kryptonite comes into play, because we definitely see Kryptonite is going to be in this movie. But I'm interested to see where it comes into play. Because we know that Lex has it, but I don't know where he's going with it. Because it seems he wants, like, there's a scene where Superman's bowing before Lex. So why is he doing that? It's not just, he didn't seem to be affected by Kryptonite at that time, but I don't know what Lex's ultimate scheme is. But we do know that it involves Doomsday. Now, the trailer shows Doomsday just plowing through a building and then shooting heat vision out of his eyes. I actually suggested, like, well, what if it's actually not Doomsday? What if that's Bizarro? Because, sure, it doesn't look like Bizarro, but Doomsday has all these spiky things on his head, and that thing doesn't look like it, and Doomsday's never had heat vision. So what if it's a clone of Superman? Wouldn't that make it Bizarro? But everywhere I turn, there seems to be, confirmation from, Zack Snyder. Like, oh, no, Doomsday's not the worst thing in the movie. The main threat's still Luthor, blah, blah, blah. It's weird. It's kind of weird to go to Doomsday this soon. I don't think Doomsday works in a movie without being a stooge. Like, the whole point of Doomsday is just he was an unstoppable force that kills Superman. He doesn't have a character arc. He doesn't have a personality. He's just a monster. And if they use him to have great fight sequences, fine. I'm just interested in where they go with this. I guess that's one thing. I still don't know where the story's going to end up, per se. I'm worried that they're going to be cramming so much in here that it might be just too much. And it won't have enough for character development and just might end up being a slugfest. I hope this Batman versus Superman thing doesn't go too long of the movie. Like, I would say, like, the halfway through its running time, you have the big fight. It's just like the longer you draw it out, the longer it's either you hating Batman because it's like, oh, dude, you're an idiot. Can't you see Lex is the bad guy and Superman is the good one? Or you're mad at Superman. It's like, why are you doing these things to make Batman mad at you? Maybe they could find a good balance. I don't know. This is going to be the game changer for DC. They need this to do well. Right now, DC, while their movies are being looked forward to, they're not in league with Marvel right now. And if they really want to get their foot in the door to make a lot of movies to springboard off of this, this is definitely the one they got to do it. They got to do this right. They got to get it done. It's definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most, but there's a lot of stuff crammed into this film, and that's also the one I'm worried about the most. Anyway, so that's what we get from the trailer. So let's just go into what is my biggest hope. What do I most want to see in this movie? I most want to see the world get to a point where it accepts Superman. Not everybody, but I want Superman to do something that happens that the world is able to see Superman, because you're always going to have people who hate Superman because he's too powerful. That's always going to be a part of comics and a part of movies, whatever. But I would like it if you could find a way where you had, like, Superman is like the one in comics where everyone loves Superman. He's the nicest guy on earth. Everyone knows him. I would like to see, because I am, again, a little bit tired of the trope where the world hates the superhero that protects it. It's getting wearing a little thin on me. And I would like to see more of the... I guess I'd like to see the responsibility of Superman. Superman having to take the responsibility of having all this power, and what is he going to do with it? And that's basically it. My biggest fear is that it gets like... My biggest fear is that it gets like Spider-Man 3 syndrome, where they got too many stuff crammed together, and in the end it just becomes a pacing nightmare with so many things that it didn't get a chance to think it all through. That's basically my biggest fear. So I've talked on almost every aspect of this movie I can think of. Let's set the excitement meter. The excitement meter right now is at... the last movie I was psyched. So this one, I want to find a phrase that shows how excited I am, but also that I'm a little worried. So let's see. I am exuberantly cautious. That's right. I'm exuberantly cautious when it comes to this movie. This is a dream come true for me. You know, like, I was like with everybody else when I Am Legend came out and did that Batman Superman poster in the background, and everyone, when that became like a viral, like, whoa, is that happening? Gotta look at it. I was like that too. I'm like, holy crap, this could actually be happening. Well, it's actually happening now in my lifetime, and even though I have worries, the simple fact that this is happening is unbelievable to me. And I think that's all I got to say about this one, so thanks for watching, everybody. This has been my superhero predictions for Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. It has to have the word justice in there, because that's what they're all about. Justice. I wonder what kind of voice Ben Affleck's going to do. Maybe he'll be like, because, Michael Keaton is like this. You weigh a little bit more than 108. And of course Christian Bale was like this. Maybe something in between. You weigh a little bit more than where are the other drugs going? I don't know. Join me on my next superhero prediction when I do predictions on Civil War.
Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.